Hey again, it's Crystal. Today we're opening the archive to its first civilization, one of the oldest known cultures in human history, the Sumerians of Mesopotamia. They lived around 4,500 to 1,900 BCE in what is now southern Iraq. And even though they existed thousands of years ago, their biggest legacy might actually be in the sky. The Sumerians were some of the first humans to ever map the stars in an organized, scientific, and spiritual way. They believed the heavens weren't random lights, they were messages. They studied planetary movement especially. Venus, which they associated with their goddess Inanna, Jupiter, tied to kingship and expansion, Mars, connected to war and power. They created star records on clay tablets, not paper, literally carving the sky into Earth. Some of their constellations are surprisingly similar to the ones we use today, like the Bull, which is similar to Taurus, the Lion, similar to Leo, and the Scorpion. Yes, Scorpio bestie energy goes way back. To the Sumerians, the sky was a divine clock, a map of personality, and a guide for destiny. They believed that the moment you were born affected your path, the planets influenced leaders and cities, and celestial events could predict cycles of change. This early belief system eventually evolved into what we now call Western astrology. So basically, every time you read a birth chart today, you're participating in a tradition that started when humans first asked the stars to explain themselves. Now, let's talk about the crystal of this episode. Lapis Lazuli. Lapis was extremely important in Mesopotamia. They traded long distance for it, sometimes traveling over thousands of kilometers just to get the stone, especially from regions near modern-day Afghanistan. To them, lapis represented wisdom, connection to the divine, the night sky itself, because of its deep blue color and golden flecks that resemble stars, and truth and communication. They believed it carried a heavenly energy, almost like a spiritual Wi-Fi connection between humans and the gods. So, if I had to summarize Sumerian energy in modern terms, the stars were their teachers, the planets were their storytellers, and lapis was their messenger stone holding the voice of the sky. Which is a pretty poetic coincidence considering we're doing an astrology and crystal podcast right now, talking about them through a little glowing lantern mic setup. History really does echo, doesn't it? That's it for episode 2. Next week, we'll dive into another ancient culture that read the sky a little differently, but with the same belief, that the universe writes us long before we understand the language. Until then, stay curious, stay grounded, and maybe hold a piece of lapis if you have it. Not for destiny, but for the connection. Sometimes just listening to the sky is enough.